Hello everyone and welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homesteading and Prepping. It's Mike again, and this is beautiful. I come out here to one of my little favorite spots on the property just to kind of look down around and see everything, snow on the trees. There's a little pond right down. You just see it right there. Just a little bit in the woods there. It's a pretty good sized pond, but it is obscured by the trees and everything right now. And it's kind of covered. Big pond's over here to the other side that way. But this is just a beautiful area up through here. Big woods, lots of undergrowth and stuff like that, but very pretty and very quiet and serene back here. All right, enough with the pretty, you get the ugly face. So on this channel, we don't do anything fancy. We don't do any fancy editing or anything like that. I talk about real life, real stuff, and what goes on, and pretty much what my thoughts are on it. So today, I mean, we've got about 8 inches of snow on the ground. It's been snowing pretty much all day here. I think we've probably got, since last night, probably another 1.5 to 2 inches on the ground. And we're probably going to get a little bit more. I think they called for like 2 to 4 inches for us here on top of what we already have. Our driveway is almost a half mile long, and it's uphill. It's solid ice. It is. All the snow on top of it is just solid ice underneath, and that's why I'm not even plowing it, because snow actually gives you a little bit of traction. If I go out there and take the tractor and I plow all that off there, the only thing I'm going to have is a bunch of daggone bobsled around, because it's just taking it straight down to the ice. If you've been listening to the weather and the news and stuff, the East Coast, southern New England and New England, they're about to get hammered. They're calling for a blizzard, and I've seen reports of potential for 3 feet of snow and up to 90-mile-an-hour winds. That's unreal. That's like a blizzard-caine or a snow-a-cane or something like that. 90-mile-an-hour winds with snow like that, that's just crazy. So, you know, a lot of power outages, a lot of utility interruptions, a lot of delays in the transportation and services and stuff like that. That's not something you want to play around with. That's definitely not a storm you want to try to contend with and make it through without any survival or, you know, preparations in place. That's some good emergency management. So there's going to be a lot of folks that live in those areas, especially the bigger cities, where they don't have generator backup. They don't have good food stores or preps and stuff like that. These people shop day to day for what they eat. And, you know, that's going to create a problem for them. So let's just hope for the best for them. And I'm sure we're going to see some deaths out of it. We always do with those big storms like that. But, you know, hope for the best and, you know, prepare for the worst type of thing. And that's why I always push this kind of stuff. That's why on this channel, we will always encourage emergency preparedness, no matter what your thoughts are on so-called prepping or, you know, doom, gloom, doomsday prepper stuff. This is not what this is about. This is good common sense, good emergency management, good preparedness in case something does happen. So keep you safe, keep your family safe. And that way you're not putting yourself in danger trying to get out to get supplies you should have already had. Now, water filtration, I worry about that all the time, and I do that simply because our water system through here, even though we're on a municipal system, we have a very old system. It was put in the 60s, and it's very unreliable. We have frequent leaks, and the old line, they put a new line in, I think back in 2010 up through here, and they did an extension to it. Now, they only did a partial replacement of the old line, but they put a big extension on it with a water tank. But the main feed that comes up from where we get from the city where our water comes from, is wrapped in transite asbestos. That's definitely not something you want in your water. Unfortunately, we have to contend with it because that's what we have for municipal water up through here. So every time there's a break, I'm real cautious about what we use water for, you know, consumption-wise. You know, hopefully in the future sometime that they will replace all of that. It's a massive leak amount that's on that line, and they should have replaced it years ago when they replaced the section of it and then built onto it and made the extension, but they never did. But, you know, like I said, I always worry about that, and that's why I've always got alternate ways to filter and purify water and everything. And I'll do another short video here later with what I just got. I can never remember the name of that straw. It's not a Life straw. I hate that because I can never remember the daggone name of it. But I was looking at them at Bass Pro Shop, those filter straws, the other night, or the other day when we were down there. And they had a 2-pack of them for $45. And I thought, nah, I'm not going to pay that much for those things. And I was looking on Amazon, and I found a 4-pack of them for like $68. So I definitely bought those. And there's 4 of us in our family. There's a 4-pack of them right there. And these straws are about that big. They will filter 100,000 gallons of water. I think it's 0.1 or 0.2 micron filtration. They actually have a bag that comes with them that you fill with water. This is an option. You can fill it with water, screw that filter straw on top of it and drink through that, or you can screw that thing onto a top of a water bottle or a soda bottle and drink like that. If you need that to collect water, or you can use it straight from the source, like bend down and drink out of a creek or a puddle or something. So, great value, great price on something like that. That'll do 100,000 gallons. When you look at a lot of it, some of them will only do like 20 liters of water. What is it, 4 liters per gallon? So you're looking at what, 5 gallons of water those things will do. So I don't know. I just like these better. And like I said, I'll do another little video later and put a link on there to them. That way, if it's something you guys are interested in to have, it'll probably be the best $70 you ever spent when you need it. And that's the thing. I mean, I always, and we always will encourage everybody to be prepared for emergency management, emergency preparedness here, and be ready for just about anything. And it's like what they say about a gun. I'd much rather have one and not need it than need one and not have it. So when those things kind of come into play with everything we got going on in the world right now, I want to make sure that we're prepared and we're ready to go. And instead of panicking and reacting, we're just going to act and put our plans into action when we need to. So everything going on with Russia and Ukraine right now, there's a lot of talk that if Russia does attack, or just everything doesn't go their way, how they want everything done, that they will launch cyber attacks against NATO countries and their allies and pretty much anybody who opposes them and what they're doing. That's not surprising. They did a Continental Pipeline here in the U.S. last year. Of course, they claim no responsibility to it, but everybody knows it's state-sponsored and they are doing things like that. There have been attempts in the U.S. on our water systems, on some municipal water systems, to actually poison them by altering the dosage of the chemicals and stuff that they use to treat it. And they've caught that before, and you won't hear that reported so much, but I actually have read that and seen that as a real report. Railroads are huge, and I don't think they're the most secure things in the world anyways to begin with. And of course, you look at California, look what they're doing out there. They're robbing all those trains and stuff like that, and just leaving packages laying all over the place, just destroying that whole city over there. But when you get into that, you're going to mess with transportation, logistics, public utilities, electric, water, gas, things like that. And it's all connected to the internet one way or another. And like I said, all they got to do is launch their attack, and they're going to get into it, and they're going to screw things up. And, it's kind of hard to fight back against that unless you launch counterattacks against them. But what do you do? It's not our job as, citizens and civilians to sit here and try to launch cyber attacks against a foreign nation. So we hope that, our government has the smartest and the brightest hackers on board to take care of things like that in that event. I don't think Putin is interested in another shooting war, especially a global shooting war. I think, if he does anything, it'll be there at Ukraine. But I think you're going to look at more cloak and dagger, more espionage, more covert, type like Cold War type stuff, sabotage and everything like that. And I think, and I can't remember, and I'm trying to remember what it was I read, 2,000 or 20,000 at any given time. There's like 2,000 or 20,000 Russian operatives in the United States, like living everyday lives as Americans and stuff like that. And that's just crazy to me. It just completely blows my mind. And then you watch a movie like Red Sparrow or even Black Widow, and you see that kind of stuff. And, those ideas come from somewhere. That's just not somebody dreaming stuff up. Black Widow may be a little far-fetched, but like Red Sparrow and stuff, there's probably a lot of truth to that. You go back, especially the Cold War days, they did some shady stuff back then. I'm sure it's only gotten shadier through the years. But, that can affect us all here. Absolutely. And they start interrupting them with, logistics and transportation and screwing more into the global supply chain and screwing up those logistics and deliveries and stuff like that. Absolutely, it'll have an impact. And, empty store shelves will show you that. And that's not too far off, believe it or not. And that's just with everything else we got going on as well, on top of the pandemic with the snow and everything like that, and the blizzard getting ready to hit the Northeast and New England and stuff. There's going to be some impact there, and it's not going to be something they're going to fix as soon as the roads are clear. So there's a lot to contend with that. Our infrastructure is in bad shape the way it is. All you got to do is look at what happened in Pittsburgh. A daggone bridge collapsed. They just rebuilt that bridge in 1974. That bridge is 47 years old, and the damn thing collapsed this morning. And so our infrastructure, and that's just not Pittsburgh, that's everywhere. One of the main bridges around here was built in 1976, so it's like 2 years younger. And you know, however often they do maintenance on them or inspections and stuff like that, I don't know. But you look at West Virginia alone, I mean, we've got some hills and hollers and mountains and stuff and rivers and stuff. So there's a lot of bridges in West Virginia to have to keep up with and everything. So you worry about that kind of stuff. And not only that, but our fragile infrastructure is like our power grid and gas and water and everything. So there's a lot to be prepared for and a lot to prepare for when it comes to things like that. But, you know, good emergency management, good pre-planning, and no matter what your feelings or thoughts are on preppers or like doomsday type preppers, that's not what it's about. It's good common sense to make sure that when something happens, not if, but when something happens, is that you and your family are prepared and you are going to be able to endure and survive a situation. You know, like I said, with the blizzard getting ready to hit New England, there's a lot of folks over there, they don't have anything. They don't have anything ready. They're not prepared for anything. And I've said before, I want you to prep like nobody is coming. I want you to prep like there is no help, no relief coming to help you and your family. And that way you make sure that even if you don't have all your luxuries, that you have your necessities, that you have food, you have good stable food stores, you have good non-perishable food stores. You have enough for everybody in that house to get you through a minimum of 3 months, a minimum of 3 months. Best case scenario, you have a year's worth of food. Secondly, water stores, the ability to filter water and make more water if you need to go out and get a couple buckets of snow and bring them in. Alternate forms of heat in your house. You know, just anything like that to back up. Worst case scenario, you go outside, you build a damn fire in your yard, and you melt snow and you cook food. You know, you have to do what you have to do in a situation like that. And I stand around here and I look at this. And we've talked before about bugging in or bugging out. And I know my property. I mean, there's a lot of places here on our property where we could seek temporary shelter. And you know what I mean, for safety sakes or whatever may happen. But I would not, under any circumstances, want to even think about having to live with my family, my 2 children and my wife, put us in a situation where this would have to be our permanent home, at least for a period of time. It's okay for, you know, camping and play and fun and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, actual bushcraft survival out here in the woods in this kind of weather, are you kidding me? It was -2 yesterday morning. That's not something I want to contend with. And some people like that stuff and they welcome that stuff as a challenge until they actually get out in it and they have to do it. And it's one thing to do it and make videos about it and say, oh, look what I did, and you know, I've got this, I've got that. When you got 2 kids and a wife and another family to worry about, this is not what you want to contend with. You know, this is not what you want to have to do. And turn around, and next week we're supposed to have 2 days where it's supposed to get up in the 50s, which is nice, but it's supposed to rain like hell. And then 40s, and then down, and it's going to get back into freezing again. So you go from cold, snow covered to warm, muddy, rain, and then a refreeze. That's no kind of environment to try to survive in like that if you don't have to. And that's what I'm saying about bugging out or bugging in. My home is dry. My home provides us protection from the elements. My home will maintain a degree of warmth from the elements. I'm not leaving. So, and you know, especially with weather like this, you don't want to venture out in this. This is no time to be trekking out through the woods to, you know, go find a place to throw a tarp up or, you know, throw a couple sticks against a tree and throw some leaves up over top of it and try to live if you don't have to. So maintain your shelter, maintain your home, and bug in. So food, water filtration, alternate forms of heat, get you some alternate ways to charge your devices. And if I remember when I get home in a little bit, I'll put the link to those filtration straws in the description of a new video, and I'll also put the link to the charger. And I bought this charger, and once you charge it, it will charge my cell phone 6 full charges. One charge on it will charge my cell phone 6 full charges. It'll charge a laptop and everything. And I look at that in a case of, you know, instead of going out starting my vehicles and running my gas to try to start to charge something, or even, you know, draining my battery in my car trying to charge devices, I'd much rather have that in the beginning. And if I'm going to charge anything, I'll take it out, plug it in, and charge it from the car, and I can charge multiple devices from one thing. So I'll put a link to that as well in the next videos. I'll do a little show or a little video on those. And it just, I can't emphasize enough, this is just smart, common sense stuff to do. And I don't have all the answers, and I don't know everything. Also, you want to look at alternate forms of communication. Make sure you've got a little storm radio with batteries that you can listen. You know, if you're smart and you can afford, like I haven't been able to do yet, you know, a secondary solar or just, you know, solar setup to charge devices. I think Harbor Freight sells them for $150. And I think it's a 100 watt or 200 watt system, and it'll charge all your devices and stuff like that by solar. Hell, that's free energy right there because it comes from the sun. So that may be something I look into later before I get too much involved in getting solar up on the outbuilding, like I've talked about in previous videos, to make an alternate umbilical of electricity if we need it, in case something, you know, interferes with both electric and natural gas. But anyways, those are just the things. And like I said, this is a perfect example. The kind of weather and the blizzard warning it's out for New England and the East Coast. I'm not worried about it hitting here. It's not even projected to get here. And actually, since I've been out here, the snow's stopped. So we're going to go with what we got. We're going to hang tight. We're going to hunker down and stay home and stay warm. The other part about that is you're going to love this. Me always talking about preparedness. All that firewood I went and collected, got cut up, got split and everything like that. I've got about a day and a half left, because I procrastinated doing other stuff and getting detoured and distracted by other things. And I need to get more firewood. And this is not the weather for me to be out here dragging trees in. I will if I have to. But I've been talking to a guy here locally. I've been wanting to go over and get a trailer load of wood and just buy it to get me through the rest of the winter. But I can't get up and down my driveway with that trailer because it's a 14-foot trailer. The trailer weighs 3,600 pounds empty. I load that bugger through full of firewood. As icy as my driveway is, I'll never make it up. So really ain't going to do me any good. So I just told him wait till next week when the weather improves and I can get up and down my driveway with that trailer. So the good part about that is I just have to run my furnace and hope that our natural gas and electric doesn't get interrupted. But yeah, like I said, it's all about preparedness. Next year it'll be a different story. I'll be more prepared for it. This year, yeah, well, in about 2 days I'm going to be sucking on hind tit when it comes to when it comes to firewood, because we're not going to have any more. But that's all right. We're still hooked to the grid. We still got full utilities. And like I said, if the electric does go off, we've got natural gas and a standby generator, so we're good to go. I just have to swallow my pride there a little bit and admit that I was not fully and completely prepared. That's going to be it. I'm going to head back to the house here, starting to get a little bit of the evening. I got a couple flank steaks in the smoker and getting them smoked up. Then I'm going to throw them on the grill, just finishing them off. And we're going to eat good high protein, good quality food. Keep us warm in the weather and the cold weather. And we just hope, send our prayers out to everybody on the East Coast and New England. Hunker down, folks. Stay tight. Make sure you're prepared. And God bless you all, and the best of luck to you. And folks, if you like this channel, you like the content, give us a like, leave us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you're like-minded. Take care, folks, and God bless.